What's up, guys? It's Crash, and I think it's time that we talk about Tarkov Arena. And there's been some crazy clips with some nutty desync and stuff, and it makes me think, should we worry or should we be excited? I've kind of on the fence with this, and I think when these kind of topics come up within our community, it's really good for me just to kind of use you guys as my therapy session. I'm going to tell you my roller coaster of emotions, and if I'm kind of excited or where I'm at with Tarkov Arena, just put everything out on the table, look at this crazy clip, see if we should worry about it. And then at the end of the video, maybe you can help me and tell me if I should be excited about Tarkov Arena, which is allegedly supposed to be coming pretty soon. Their first part of December is what they're saying. There's been a lot of gameplay out with TwitchCon showing a big tournament. That's where this clip that we're going to talk about surfaced from. And there's been just quite a bit of an information dump about Tarkov Arena, to where the point of it is, it's time to play this thing. It's really close. So let's go ahead and talk about it. And I have some discussion topics about whether or not we should worry or be excited about Escape from Tarkov Arena mode. Let's just go ahead and get right to the crazy stuff. From the TwitchCon event where Team Landmark was against Team Geno, and Landmark has some of the worst netcode that I've ever seen, worst desync that I've ever seen with netcode. Now, if you're a Tarkov player, if you've played for a long time, you've probably seen this in game. This is a crazy amount of desync, and this is something that I was hoping was not in Arena, and it gets me concerned just a little bit about the state of the game and if it's actually going to play better when it comes down to gunfights from the main game. This got a lot of people talking, and this could potentially be really bad because allegedly I would think that this was being played on LAN. Now, I've heard some other people say that it wasn't LAN, which would also leave me, to wonder, why would it not be on LAN if they all have the computers there together with the devs? They could do their own local server. I don't know why you would put that over the internet when all the machines are right there. But either way, if it's on LAN or not, this is pretty crazy. I would argue that it is crazier if it is on LAN to have these kind of issues. But one of the things I was hoping when Tarkov Arena was announced, and one of the things that they mentioned in the announcement podcast, was that there was going to be an improved netcode, because this is going to be all about gunfights. You're not going to have a lot of the looting. You're not going to have as many players in the server, and it should be a better gameplay experience when it comes down to gunfights, because that's what it's all about. And therein lies a lot of my apprehension about Escape from Tarkov Arena, when you're trying to take a lot of these mechanics that are from an MMO open world survival extraction shooter and boil those down into something competitive. And I'm going all the way to competitive because this is going to have a ranked mode. And when you talk about a ranked mode, I instantly start thinking about competitive integrity and how the game plays from a competitive standpoint. Is it fair? Is it even? Do we boil away all the crap and get down to actual skill and who is better at the game? And something that can rip that away right away is desync and issues like this. Now, I think it's important also to take this gameplay, this video, and take a step back just a second, because on the flip side, there was a lot of scrutiny. There were a lot of eyes on this tournament. There were a lot of gameplay clips going around, and this was really the only one that I saw where there was an egregious netcode issue. Now, there were a lot of hours played, there were a lot of streams watched, and to only have one issue, I would say, isn't that bad. I just have to, kind of put that caveat out there, because I, like many of you, when I first saw this, like, that's unacceptable. We can't have that. But if we think about it from an overall bird's eye view, one of those is not too bad. Some of the things I have been worried about also is audio. So when I was watching some of the gameplay, when you're in a competitive match, you need to be able to hear somebody's reloading. You need to hear footsteps where enemies are. You need to be able to hear call outs from your teammates. Maybe if somebody pulls a nade and pulls the pin, you need to be able to hear a lot of that stuff in a competitive shooter. And having the crowd noise and the announcer was really cool, in my opinion, for immersion. If I'm playing a ranked mode, I don't want that crap. I want to be able to focus on the gameplay. And then the other thing I was worried about is some of the granular mechanics that Tarkov has. That's one of the things that sets the main game apart from other games in the genre, is those granular mechanics and those details. However, in a competitive shooter, do I really want like 75 different kinds of 7.62 ammo? There's going to be a lot to sort through, and a lot that has to come down to figuring out what is the best, what is the most efficient, and which things am I going to use. It's going to be confusing, and I don't know if it's going to make a whole lot of sense. I think the healing mechanic could get a little bit frustrating, and also the game modes. So allegedly there's going to be the 5 different game modes. You're going to have shootout, which is a round robin tournament, team fight, which kind of think of gunfight from Call of Duty, but with a team objective at the end, round based 1 life mode, overrun, which sounds really cool for zombies, zombies fans, like Scav Overrun comes in waves, you have to cooperate. Last Hero, and then you have Duel, which kind of makes sense to be a 1v1. And I'm a little bit disappointed that there's no kind of bomb mode like Search and Destroy or CSGO or Rainbow Six. I think that would be perfect, and hopefully they add that in the near future. But along those lines of the healing being weird, the granular mechanics, the audio, the potential netcode issues, some of Battlestate Games' questionable game design decisions that have kind of pulled me out of playing Escape from Tarkov very often anymore. I really haven't messed with it this wipe. On the flip side, I want to talk about some of the positives as well and why I could get excited for Escape from Tarkov Arena. I will say, of all the negatives that I have from Tarkov, why I haven't been playing it lately, one of the things that you cannot sell short with Escape from Tarkov are the gunfights. When you have an intense gunfight with your squad mates against potentially another squad, the flanks, the healing, the reloading, packing mags, communication, it's all about positioning. And I've had some of the really coolest gunfights I've ever had playing Escape from Tarkov with friends. And to have a game that's just around that could be really exciting. This could make for some really intense moments. I want to take all those things that I've said where there's going to be problems with them, like the granular mechanics, the healing, and the game modes, and the netcode and stuff like that. Potentially a lot of those things, like the mechanics and healing, could lead to a new gameplay experience with a round-based single life game mode that I actually like to enjoy. I play a lot of Search and Destroy and Rainbow Six, so maybe some of those mechanics I should be looking at from a positive standpoint, because they could be new things that I need to learn how to play with and learn how to master. So I think overall I am excited. Some of the cool movement and some of the immersion and details within Escape from Tarkov, the really realistic armor and stuff that you wear, some of the realistic guns and the customization you do is really cool. So Escape from Tarkov could be really neat. I know there's a lot of stuff that adds randomness, such as, you know, what kind of armor the person's wearing. There is a fragmentation chance if the bullet does more damage. There's also a chance if it pins. You could also shoot someone in the head and that thing ricochets. So within Escape from Tarkov, there's a lot of randomness in gunfights beyond the netcode. I'm talking about how the ammo interacts with the armor. Sometimes you can get a headshot, one-shot kill. Sometimes it glances off. There's all those different things. I don't know how it's going to match up. At the end of the day, talking myself through all this stuff, I'm excited to try it. I'm interested to see how it is. For those of you who don't know, it is supposed to release in early December. I believe it's somewhere around $35 US if you don't own the Edge of Darkness edition. If you do own the EOD edition of Escape from Tarkov, you should be able to get it for free and be able to download it right away and hop in. So I'm excited to try it out. I think where I do have the EOD edition for myself, I'm definitely going to give it a go. I'm interested to see how it plays out. I'm hopeful for it. I just have some of those things with Battlestate Games, what they've done in the past, how the game works. I'm not sure if it's going to transfer over to a super tactical, competitive, round-based arena shooter. Let me know down below where you guys stand on Escape from Tarkov Arena, if you think this is something that we should worry about based on the clips that we've seen, or if you're excited to check it out in December, or if you're kind of on the wait and see side of things and gonna see how it's gonna play out. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you made it to the end, I cannot thank you enough. I hope to see you on the next one. Have a good day.